welcome back to Hammond's Take the Helm. If you're a new viewer, welcome. We're glad to have you. My name is Amber and my husband's name is Steven, and we are two new boaters out here in Florida exploring the beauty of what Florida has to offer by visiting all these various islands. And so today, celebrating the last day of summer, we are at Anclote Key in Tarpon Springs, and what we want to talk to you all today about is mistakes that new boaters make. We've been boating for about 2.5, maybe 3 months now. We want to go ahead and share with you the 5 biggest mistakes that new boaters usually make. So stick around to the end because we have a bonus mistake that we definitely want to go ahead and make sure that we share with you all. So one of the mistakes that we want to go ahead and talk to you all about is leveraging your navigational tools. What we've seen so far is that a lot of new boaters, they just get so excited, wanting to drive the boat, but not actually thinking about what you need to learn in order to properly navigate the boat when you're heading towards a sandbar, an island, even if you're heading out to a beach or a waterfront restaurant. And so some of the things that you'd want to pay attention to as far as being a new boater is making sure to leverage the Simrad or whatever navigational tool that has been installed on your boat. Make sure to take the time to actually read the Simrad. Make sure it has the settings that you need in order to maximize your experience while you're trying to navigate the waters. The second thing I would say when we think about navigational tools is leveraging any sort of apps that you may have on your phone in order to help you navigate. Sometimes the Simrad may be working, it may not be working, but a great backup is to leverage some of the navigational tools. One of the tools that I like using, there are two. One is called Navigational app and the Wave Boating app. So depending on your preference, those apps can also help you navigate the water, show you the depth, show you where the channel markers are. It's very similar to what the Simrad would do on the boat, except it's on your mobile phone. And then last but not least, I would say when we think about navigational tools, it's definitely leveraging your eyes, right? Leverage those eyes because there are going to be a lot of things that happen out on the water that maybe the Simrad or your app on your phone may not be able to tell you. Leveraging your eyes to be able to see what's actually happening in the water is going to be able to help you navigate any sort of shallow waters that may be out there or marine life, etc. So definitely make sure to be leveraging your eyes. They have a couple of sayings out there. So if you're pulling up to a sandbar, they have a saying called white, white, you just might, right? And what that means is that if you're seeing white, that you may just run aground, right? Brown, brown, run aground. Essentially, that's just saying if you see brown, definitely stay away from that area because you are going to run aground. Your boat will get stuck. If you see blue waters, it's blue, blue, run on through. So a lot of great things that you can just use or learn how to navigate just by leveraging your sight.
And always remember, you all, when you do see, brown or white, just pull that trim up a little bit. So as you're coming out here to these islands, y'all, preparation is definitely key. And I would say that is probably one of the major mistakes that a lot of people make before they come out on the water is they don't check the weather apps, they don't check their tide apps, and they don't prepare before they come out.
So, for example, today when we were pulling up to Anclote Key, we needed to know when it was going to be high tide and when it was going to be low tide because that helped us to identify exactly when and where we needed to anchor. So definitely important if you're trying to come out here and have a really great experience with boating and anchoring up, leveraging some of those tools is going to be key.
Another mistake new boaters make is improper docking. They might go into the dock too fast. They might not go in fast enough. They might collide. We were coming out of Clearwater one time, and some dude was pulling up to a dock to grab his family, and he just kept smacking the dock. And that's one thing nobody wants to do. Just make sure you go in at a nice 45-degree angle. Put the front of that boat towards the cleat you want to go to, and when you get there, go in nice and smooth.
Another mistake that happens quite often is we pull up to an amazing, beautiful beach area or a sandbar and you want to anchor up, right? But let's say you only have one anchor. What do you do in that type of situation? So normally, if you only have one anchor, the best bet is if you're in a populated area, just to kind of anchor away from where other boats are at, because what eventually is going to happen is that once you anchor up, you drop that now anchor into the water, you'll be set. But what will happen is over time your boat will sway with the water, and so to prevent any injuries to people who may be in the water or damaging any other boats, you definitely want to make sure that you kind of anchor away or have your boat away from other boats. Another mistake that we want to call out is new boaters not having a proper anchoring system. And what we mean by that is maybe an anchoring system or an anchoring plan, right? And so with my husband and I, it's only two of us the majority of the time when we're out there. As you start approaching the area where you plan on anchoring, make sure to have both of your anchors already out. Have that bow anchor out, rope is nice and cleaned up, there aren't any knots or tangles, and then make sure you're doing the same thing for the stern anchor as well. We've seen folks kind of throw the stern anchor out there and set it. We've seen some people actually get into the water, take the stern anchor with them, and then actually place the stern anchor into the sand or wherever they're at, and straighten out the boat. So, you know, like I mentioned, we're still fairly new boaters, and so we may have some experienced boaters out there watching our video right now. So if you have any additional tips and tricks or corrections for us, please let us know in the comments, so that way everyone who's watching the video will be able to learn along with us via the comments below.
Alright y'all, and the last and final mistake involves this bad boy right here. I made the mistake twice of getting too close to the engine with this in it. Even though the engine's dead, the engine propellers are sharp and they will slice this thing up and it will deflate in front of your eyes. And so don't make that mistake. Make sure that you are far away from the boat, as you can see we are, and you will not have this issue.